Welcome once again to another Tuesday in the life of people who are trying desperately to save comics. Nobody's saving comics, friends. We're all just here doing our jobs, trying to make good comics and sell good comics and make the tools that make good comics. So we want to thank you for joining us once again as we talk about this. And I will tell you right now, this is going to be one of those that we are building the ship while we're on the water. So watch and enjoy. Actually, this is actually a good prompt. Any of you who are watching, feel free to tell us the stories that you want to hear about this week, because if you have a link, there's a good chance it will be talked about. My co-host, as always, Mr. Brian Garside, the glorious Brian Garside, the man who is legitimately doing some real work to save comics and make it every single day, buddy.
Just saving the industry. Yeah.
Just what we're doing. We're just saving the industry.
I'm totally different than all the other charlatans that are out there saving the industry. I'm actually saving the industry. I'm the only one that can do it.
We have this running joke because I just did an editorial in our newsletter, which you can sign up for if you go to pranadm.com right now. We do this newsletter every week, and we talk about the sales charts. We talk about the figures. Oh, Brian, we could talk about sales figures.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I got July and August we could talk about.
What?
I know. We could talk about, we talked about July last week. We can talk about August. You bring that up. Awesome. Anyway, this week, or rather last week, in my editorial, I talked about how there's only one really good way to know that the disruptor, quote unquote, who's telling you they're going to save the industry is going to fail, is that they step in and tell you they're going to save the industry every single time. I love a quote from Joe Field. Hopefully, Joe, you're out there listening. Joe Field reached out right after, and he said that comics is one of the only industries that will befuddle any oh God, what's the MBA? That's right.
Oh yeah.
Befuddle any MBA.
Oh God, this industry should not exist. Right?
It really,
like if you were an MBA, nothing makes sense. Yeah, I have a bunch of friends who got their MBAs at Ivy, which is like a school here in London, Ontario. It's pretty prestigious in Canada. And I remember talking to one of them at the beginning of this. This is like a decade ago when we first started doing Managed Comics. And he's like, your total addressable market is 2,500. Like, that's it. If you get all the market, you have 2,500 stores. I was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah. And there's like at least 2 competitors right now. Yeah. And he's like,
oh yeah.
Are you familiar with the concept of the Red Sea and the Blue Ocean? Because you are in the reddest of Red Seas where all the sharks are. Why for 2,500 do you want to be there? I'm like, well, because I can save the industry. That's why.
I'll be the one. I'll be special. Tommy, how dare you miss a week? How dare you? Well, you're one of the.
I'm wearing this just for you too. I'm wearing my Earth 519 t-shirt because he always gives me the gears for not promoting my own store. So there you go, Earth 519.
Good. He really should. Go to Earth 519, kids, and sign up for a subscription. Megan, I know that this is. I know that you're billing me for this time, and you absolutely should. So feel free. In fact, everybody, this week I'm calling it. We said why Diamond died. That was the idea that we put together. Like we were gonna go through and do kind of a postmortem. Turns out we were both dealing with the fact that Diamond died. And so we didn't do a whole lot of prep work for this one. So this time around, Megan, I'm calling you out. Christina, you're here with us every week. Tommy, you're here this every week. Why don't you all? You drop a link or a story you want us to talk about, and man, the two of us will talk about it. And I know we have some behind the scenes stuff, but there you go.
We got Django from Comic Shop Assistant also saving the industry right now.
Also, Also shaving the industry. Shaving the industry.
You know what? If Django, if you're available, I would love to have you on real quick, and we can talk about your validator that you made, your quick little validator. I can even show it to people and see.
Did you make a validator, Django? We talked yesterday. He and I did about something really interesting that's going to be coming up soon.
Yeah, he built a really cool, very simple HTML validator that we can at least use behind the scenes to talk to people about, what's wrong with their data and show them.
That's awesome.
Link sent to Django.
Oh, great. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, it is one of those pieces that really needs to be used from a publisher standpoint, because most of them don't realize why their data is going to. Yeah, that's right. Blake works for us and needs not. He really needs validation at all times. So if he has a validator that tells him he does a good job, he would be willing to pay for that. Yeah. So anyway, we're playing with the chat today, kids. So now is the time. So. Oh shit! It was 2 minutes out. Look at that. Hey, buddy.
Let's hear. How's your voice today?
It's better than it was for an entire week after San Diego.
You're back. You've got dulcet tones again.
Yeah, my Leonard Cohen karaoke has suffered since I got better, but everything else is good.
And I know how much you love karaoke, so that must be a real heartbreaker.
Big karaoke guy.
Can I tell you, one of my proudest moments was when Erin is Merritt is her last name, Shannon's wife, Erin, when she asked me to sing Leonard Cohen. I was like, the first time I've ever gotten a request at karaoke. That was a new one. Yeah.
Awesome.
Christina, I definitely want to come back to talking about our friends at Ignition. However, since we have Django here, and man, feel free to stick around if you want. Tell us about this validator. What did you build?
So we've seen a lot of issue sequence numbers and barcodes and cover titles not really matching up. So the issue sequence number is what indicates to us that something is a cover A or a cover B or a cover C. And often barcodes can sort of indicate that as well. But we were seeing for months and months and months, some publishers were having a really hard time matching those things up. And they still are. And it's kind of hard to look at as a human to figure out exactly what's going on, because you're trying to translate cover A is issue sequence number 0, but it's barcode the second to last barcode number 1. So like looking at it is difficult. So I just started picking away at this way to upload a Lunar or a Penguin or a Diamond file and have it give us a report of discrepancies between issue sequence numbers.
That is fascinating.
There's another page in there that has it's the UPC patterns, I think. I honestly haven't played with this that much. But this will go through and find, so like the last 5 digits in a UPC for a comic can tell you the issue, the variant cover sequence, and the printing. But not all publishers use the same sequence. So some of them will have issue, cover, printing, and some will have issue, one spot for the cover and one spot for the printing. So on a single monthly or weekly file, we can get a report of publishers that are likely using one or the other, or worst case scenario, using both, because some of them are flipping between the two. So I haven't beaten this thing up super well yet. I was hoping that Brian could help me with that at some point, but it's giving us really useful information. And I think that it works. Like, I think it's telling us which data is confusing to even try to untangle.
Yeah.
So and not a full validator.
Just it gives us a starting point where we can start having those conversations with the distributors and the publishers and start hopefully drilling down on these. Although sometimes, I've been having these conversations with one specific publisher for over a year now. and we've physically looked them in their souls in person in meat space multiple times and still not had any change.
What I'm hoping is that this thing will give us something that we can point to and say, look, it's a little more graphic than just shouting it into the ether.
Yeah.
For sure.
Instead of being
Well,
an emailed text list, it's got color coding and stuff.
And I think that there's also there's a certain barrier of entry for people when you start talking about like data structures. They gloss over, and you can't get through. It's like, I don't know. It's like legitimately like trying to teach your grandpa about why he can't just use his birth date as his password. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I'm always surprised that somebody makes it all the way through the phrase issue sequence number without falling asleep.
That seems like a real challenge. But I think it's and also as a minimum viable product, as an MVP, it sounds like you're already there. That's amazing.
Yeah. So what I would like to do is send this out to, the distributors and just say, hey, run your weekly and monthly files through this and see what you think. And also send it to the publishers, especially the ones that are showing up as problematic in here.
Yeah.
Because, if we can get them to fix it at their level before it gets pushed out to everybody else, 2,500 comic stores don't have to understand what issue sequence number means.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be really great. And
saves people hundreds of hours.
It is going to be a challenge, I think. Right now it's not as bad, but there was a time when at Valiant we would just run out of digits. Like there was so many covers that you had to do that you would run out of digits.
And that's fine. There's patterns for that as well. And after cover 9, I guess the issue sequence number is mostly used to subscribe people to a specific cover variant. After cover 9, I have less sympathy for somebody who's trying to deal with that than cover A and B and C.
Yeah, now it's a pointer.
Yeah, like what we've seen is that the covers A, B, C, D have been chaotic from some publishers. And that has a real impact on a lot of stores and a lot of subscribers. Cover K, L, M, N, not as impactful. So and that issue cover printing, if anybody hasn't fallen asleep yet, that method would let you go up to 99 covers. So
yes, but it wouldn't help DC with their detectives,
right? Because they need the 3 for numbers.
That's right. And who knows, maybe we'll get to a period where we're doing 100+ issues series again. That I don't know. I think that'd be a great problem to have personally.
Totally. Nightwing.
Yeah. 100%. Let's talk really quickly. Our friends at Ignition are now distributing through Penguin Random House. I think it says a huge vote of confidence that somebody like PRH, who really does want the bigger of the companies to jump in. I think it says a lot that they were willing to bring on Ignition, who is a startup and is doing creator-owned books at a time when creator-owned books are challenged. Also gives us a chance to talk about this incredible website of Ignition Press.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Murder Podcast was just on FOC this last week. And I've seen they've sold out of some stuff on their site too, which is cool. The stuff looks great. And my pitch to people when I kind of had a last minute brainstorm on last night when I was doing my FOCs, and it's like, can you imagine if you were on the ground floor of Boom or IDW? Like that is very much what this is, right? This is the people behind the best years of Boom and the best years of IDW. And now they've started their own thing. Like, I think that's pretty exciting to be.
And I would even argue behind the best, maybe not the best years. I think they're hopefully their best years are ahead of them, but formerly the best years of Oni. I mean, Jamie Lucas Jones, like he is a big part of why Oni was so strong there early on. 100%. I'm really looking forward to them being the powerhouse that that team could definitely pull off.
Yeah.
Our friends at Revenge of are asking, Split Across Time and almost missed a few covers. That's real weird.
It's always been the case though. Diamond or Lunar is only carrying like, I think 4. Is it
4
4 covers? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lunar's only carrying 4, so Diamond carries the rest, and it's been like that since the beginning, which is why I've been so adamant to not, like, what is it called? Ex Posse Holdings is not KeenSpot, and I keep saying this so loudly to my people, but they insisted. So I turned off. I made it happen last week, and I think it was a terrible idea. And I said to everyone, "This is a terrible idea, but a plurality of you want it, so you get it, and it's a terrible idea."
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I think this goes to show why things like Managed Comics and why things like Comic Shop Assistant are so incredibly important for publishers, for retailers now who are having to manage multiple publishers, having to manage multiple distributors, having to manage multiple distributors for the same publisher.
Yeah.
Like, they need you thinking about this. They need you and your team, like, figuring out how they're going to deal with this data, because it's not going to get any easier anytime soon.
Just now, it's too much to keep in your one brain.
No,
You need a computer. It's just suddenly it's like that. It hasn't been like that all along or anything.
No, it hasn't been like that for at least the last 4 years.
I would say that there's Dynamite is dealing with this, KeenSpot is dealing with this, Mark Spears covers are dealing with this. I think at the end of the day, it's really that Lunar has basically said, look, we want to deal with as many publishers as we can, but there's a difference between atoms and electrons. No relation. They definitely don't, like, there's no way that you can manage all of that physical product without some rules. And so the rule they're setting is 4 covers. I commend them for it. Completely understand it. There's no way around it, Awesome. Yes. Hey, I like this opening up to the chat, man. You guys are coming with it. I like this a lot. Before we get in, what were the biggest notes for you guys in the last week? I know that you're both working on stuff. We just saw the validator. Is there anything we can talk about that's coming up?
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
We're just onboarding like boatloads of stores that are trying to solve the Comic Suite issue.
Oh.
Yeah. We got nothing on Brian's plans, but we're bringing in something like 14 stores in the next couple of weeks, and we do a pretty detailed import, so it's a slog every time we do one.
Yeah.
And I would love it if all the East Coast stores could just get on Pacific time while I do this. That'd be super cool. I could sleep in an extra 2 or 3 hours.
I'd like if all the Pacific stores would stop emailing me at 5 o'clock when it's 2 o'clock their time. That'd be great. Like, I'm just about to go make dinner. And
those people on the wrong coast.
Wait until you have Australia and New Zealand stores and you wake up to like 5 things every morning.
No,
there was a time when I was working with a New Zealand company doing what you guys do.
No, thank you.
And our development team was in India, and all of our customer base was spread over 4 time zones. I think I don't think I slept more than 4 hours at a go for all those months. That was,
that's like initial order, FOC, and release date, but all compressed into one day. You're living in 4 different times.
Every day,
all day.
I like this one. Batman #1 and Deadpool Batman had us juggling numbers for FOC this week. Oh my God. I spent more time on those 2 books. And in the end, I just went like this and went, whatever.
It's got Jeff the Land Shark in it. It's probably fine.
Yeah. At $6.99 US, that's like what, $11 Canadian or something crazy like that. Like that was a commitment.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute. Is this Universal Distribution? Is that who Hello Gentlemen is giving us? If so, give us a shout out. Is this, I don't know, is this somebody who we might have seen on a Superman video?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I wonder if I still have that screen grab somewhere. That was amazing.
Yeah, you sent it to me. You gotta find that around. Excellent. Well, thank you guys. Keep up with coming at us with the chat, because I can tell you that we're ill prepared deal with this
I would
week.
say ill prepared. We're just differently prepared, Adam.
We're just
differently
differently
prepared.
abled this week. Thank God Django's here just to give us the laugh track, if nothing
I'll
else.
be your rodeo clown.
Adam's always worried about how well this comes off, and the ones that like he thinks are going to be the biggest disaster end up being my favorite ones. So
Oh yeah.
That's actually true. There was one that we ended up reusing as an episode of the podcast. And Brian said, this is the one, or you said this was a train wreck. In fact, you said it in the podcast. I'm like,
multiple
I
times.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I had this vision of what this was going to be. And we're not like anywhere close to that vision. But the truth of the matter is it's us, right?
Yeah.
This thing that we're doing is just us talking, at the end of the day.
It's improv.
It totally is improv.
Yeah.
Let's talk about why we should be lawyers.
Oh
Brian,
my
you
gosh, I
wanna
was
pull
just
that
going to pull that up.
right, good.
That's hilarious that you say that. So our theme for today was going to be why Diamond died, and I will
Yeah.
tell you right now that lawyers might be one of the main reasons. Holy moly!
$141,109 in billable hours in June.
Yeah,
It's a lot of emails.
yeah. In my next life, I think I want to come back as a lawyer.
I don't know. The problem is every lawyer I've ever met, maybe with the exception of Gamal Hennessy, but every other lawyer I've ever met has just been a miserable train wreck of a person. I cannot imagine, but I might be willing to be a little miserable for 6 digits per month. I think, yeah.
Nice.
Yes. I will say like this is why. This is why Diamond died right here.
Yeah.
It's because of the lawyers. It's because of bankruptcy. This is why you fight so hard to stay out of bankruptcy. Is
Yeah.
especially in their size. There's no way they could have come out of this the minute they all started making that money.
Look at this. So the restructuring advisor makes $855 an hour and worked 57.5 hours. Like I did that many hours last week. Where's my $49,000?
It's going to be issued to you in diamond credits.
Oh,
Sorry, that was kind of a
great.
low blow.
Great. This is unbelievable. Yeah, these numbers are crazy.
Yeah, well, I want to get to Revenge of's question here in a little bit, but yeah, I will say that this is just it. Like once that you start sliding down that road, there's no turning that train back around.
No,
Like they're just carving it up and making sure that everybody involved gets their share,
Mm-hmm.
right?
$500,000 in just restructuring fees in 1 month. $501,098 from June 1 to June 30th. Like, think about how many vendors that pays. That's
One, the lawyer.
it's appalling that happens.
Yeah,
I know,
no kidding.
It's true.
I know all those poor publishers that are trying to figure out how they're going to stay alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, look at this. There's your vendors. Total post petition amount owed by vendors, 555,000. Huh. Same number. Crazy.
I
Shocking.
mean, yeah, does that tell you that they were just running really close to the bone and they had to pay that restructuring fee and then didn't have the money to pay the other thing? Or was that?
Well, my take
No.
on it, and I think this comes from, we had Chris Powell on a few weeks ago, and having talked to enough people behind the scenes and having seen this happen over the years, one of the stories I like to tell is Chuck Parker, the guy who basically runs Diamond for Steve Jeppe. Chuck worked for a bank.
Mm-hmm.
Steve went to that bank and said, "Hey, I need to take out a line of credit. I want to buy up a competitor." Then he wanted to buy up another competitor. He always grew through buying competitors. At some point, his banker was so important to him that he hired his banker. Right? So what I'm saying is that they were. There's never a point where a company like that is out of debt. It's always about managing that debt and how big is it and how big is it versus the value of the company.
Cash flow puzzle at that point.
Exactly. So when they a few years ago restructured to be Jeppe Family Enterprises, they brought in some new people, and they essentially the bank brought in some new people, to make sure that they were staying above board, and that ended up being a total train wreck. But all of this to say, at some point the bank said, nope, you owe more than you're worth. And that's when the bank turned that, nobody there said, yeah, we should go into bankruptcy.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
Well, it's a weird place to be as a retailer, as a software vendor, as a comic book fan. When we were talking yesterday, Adam, you pulled up, like in your move, you found the first issue of Previews, right? You and I need to get our collection of weird old comic book ephemera together, because this is the stuff I love. Yeah.
Look at this right here. This is Previews number 1. Actually, I have, I think I got this at a Comics Pro auction. I think I did the first like 8 or 10 or something here.
That's
yeah. So this is January. What did we say? It was 1989, something like that. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
Where we go? Oh yeah, 1980s. 89. So we have the best-selling titles for November of 1988 is right here on the inside front cover.
It'd be interesting to go through those first issues and see what happens with Batman as the movie comes out.
That's right.
Like, did it have an effect on the comics or not?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, gosh, yeah, it did. Yeah, for sure. And that was when the leather-bound graffiti edition of Dark Knight came out. Remember that thing?
Yeah,
I wanted that so bad.
No.
Yeah, I had a couple.
You couldn't afford it because it was like $25.
I know. As a 47-year-old, one day I realized, I can just buy this now.
Oh,
now
it's
I have one.
It's $25. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I know.
To give you an example, the first solicited item here we have from Aardvark Vanheim. We had the first Cerebus number 120.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So wild.
Anyway,
Django, you were in San Diego. Did you happen to see this right here? Booth 2401?
I did go to the Diamond
What was
booth.
it?
We joked about me looking at it on this show.
Yeah,
but,
you were gonna be like live. We're gonna have you a man on the floor. What happened?
He
was too busy having breakfast at the time.
Yeah, I was eating. No, the Diamond booth was pretty sparse. It had some like Superman mannequins and Stuart Schreck and a couple other staff members there, hanging out. I stopped by and hung out with Stuart a couple times, but I didn't want to be there when people asked him hard questions because that would have made me really uncomfortable. So when that looked like it was going to happen, I just walked away. Like I can't. I like that guy too much.
Poor Stuart.
But yeah, it was staffed the whole time. It wasn't super clear what they were, why. But
yeah.
Did they look happy, or was it a blink twice for help situation?
No, I mean, I feel like anybody who's still there is probably looking for another job.
Yeah, I mean, Stuart has said publicly that he's looking for another job.
Yeah.
I feel confident that he could be had for, and no, I was going to make a joke there, but no, he definitely deserves
a really, was that your joke?
Really junk, huh?
Diamond credit. Was that your joke?
Yeah, exactly. he could be had for a pallet of books stuck at Diamond. Yeah. But yeah, he's a really great guy. There are some decent people still there, you know. I'm told that there's a woman named Lakeisha who was always a take no shit kind of person, still manning the boards over there for customer service, which I think is kind of wonderful. Like they finally got somebody who's just like, nope, not putting up with this, not even gonna take it. No, thank you. No, I mean, there's still a handful of people there, but when I speak to them, they're all like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I come in tomorrow. I'll come tomorrow. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, great job as a man on the ground. Yeah, don't want to be there for tough questions.
But he's not a reporter, right? He's a.
I'll tell you a secret, Justin. I didn't know I was supposed to be there as the man on the ground.
You didn't know he was going to be a co-host today either. So, right. Give the guy half a break. Speaking of Diamond, Revenge of actually asked this question earlier. My understanding right now is that you can, as it was said in the chat, you can, if you have an Alliance Games account, you can be ordering DC from them. In the US, my understanding is that by the end of the year, they're going to be able to flip the switch and start letting other publishers in for US distribution and many more retailers in for US distribution. But they're trying to keep it very limited and tight so that they can make sure that they are maintaining a level of service that they need. I think it says a lot about the fact that they brought in Tim Lanahan and Nance Romer. On the Tim Lanahan on the vendor side, Nance Romer on the retailer side, two people that could not be more associated with service. They really are intent on service first. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're able to pull off. I think it says a lot about them that they chose those two people.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Alessandro about the data movement, and it sounds like they're working on it. I don't think they have anything super strong yet,
right,
anywhere, but it sounds like he said all the right words, and I believe him that the thing that they're doing is the thing that should be done. So
yeah, I gave him the latest comment file the other day. So yeah, he's got the current data, and I may or may not be in Montreal this time next week. May or may not. Who knows? Who knows?
Nice.
Maybe hanging out at Universal and another couple vendors. I don't know. Maybe.
Cool.
We'll talk about that later.
Is this true? If somebody can corroborate this? On Previews World FOC for this week, the Funko Pop Rocky Horror Picture Show description said, "This needs text. I've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show. Text here. Text here."
That's too good. That's too good.
Man, I used to work for a newspaper, and I put an F-bomb as a placeholder in a headline one time, and never did it again because everybody else didn't notice it either before it went to press.
Yeah. I worked at like Canada's version of ESPN, and one of the guys wrote a variable that was called F this, it sucks. And that variable showed up, and I was like, that needs to go away now and never be a variable again. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, she says that they removed it. All right. She says she has a picture, so hopefully we can send it to Christina. You can send it to me at adam@pranadm.com. I'll make sure that Brian gets it and we can move on, or send it to Brian. I don't know. Maybe you can send it directly to him.
Christina knows how to send things to me. She sends plenty of things to me. And I appreciate every one of them.
I have an idea that I've been bouncing around, and this might be totally off topic. Is that okay, or should we talk about this another day?
Let's go. I don't.
All right.
There's no topics.
There is no rails.
Okay.
We're not off the rails because there are no rails. There are no roads where we're
trying to use our rudder on the rails, and it's just not working.
That's right.
So I actually have built like a very small skeleton of this, but I have this vision, and what made me think of it is Christina sending you that picture, which then you get to post on social media potentially, and like that's the amazing thing that comic stores can do, is have really easily shareable social media stuff for our certain niche, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so what I want to do, and this is inspired by Valiant and Watchmen, I want to start a database that has dates that appear in comic books and the panel that it appears in. And then every day, if you're stuck for social media content, you go to this page, you get today's date, and you get that panel or whatever panels happened on Christmas Day in comic books. And you've got a panel that you can then share to your social media.
My goodness.
That's awesome.
And you'll start out by just seeding it with Watchmen, which will
take most of it. And then, like, if you start with the early Valiant stuff, the reason I read Valiant in the 90s was because the continuity was ridiculously tight, and you didn't need to know why that explosion happened in the background, because it didn't matter to this story, but it happened in that story, And
it was all happening in real time, wasn't it? If I remember Valiant, or no, that was New Universe. The Marvel's New Universe was happening in real time.
Yeah, New Universe and the NAM happened in real time.
Yeah.
But Valiant just had really tight continuity and had date stamps on everything. So I think it would be a fun thing to build.
Kyle and I both, we would pay for that service. You show that to us. We'd love it.
It's going to cost $1,000 a user.
Wait.
But it's free after that.
Yeah,
Comic book
once
money.
we get-
Comic book money. It's the
once we get
reverse
to,
of
like-
freemium. That's right.
once we get to, we'll scale the fee down per user. So this is the
First
mistake
guy
I made
pays
last
$1,000.
time with Managed Comics. The first people should have been like $10,000, and then I scaled down as we grow.
Everybody's cost gets reduced as you bring
Yeah,
in new
exactly,
customers. I
exactly.
like that a lot.
User number one, $10,000.
That's a
User
hard one
number
to sell.
two, now it's
Yeah.
$5,000.
Yeah.
User number three, oh, it's $3,300. It's genius.
Here's a good question, and I think that's is there an online listing of every comic book store?
There are multiple.
Brian will say yes. It's called Google Maps, and in some ways he's not wrong. Part of the problem is in how you decide what a comic book store is. Like I could ask you guys if they're what is a comic shop, and you're all going to have a different answer. For me, I think it really comes down to, are you buying and selling new comics? It looks like I can see behind the scenes that Brian's pulling up. There are two services that are competing right now for how to list those free comics. You want to pull up? You can.
Yeah,
pull
what
up
are
either
those
one.
two services called? Remind me of
And I
their
remember
names.
them. I can't
One of them
remember.
one of them's sweet, right?
Yeah,
One of them is the sweet one. That's Find
that
Your
one. I can
Comic
never
Shop.
remember.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's findyourcomic.store.
Find Your Comic.store. There you
The
go.
other one is, I forget.
This is done by the Sweet, the people who do the Sweet. What's it called? The developments. It's basically a marketing line for publishers. They put this quickly together. This one struggles with,
which is really nice.
oh yeah, and they do the bindings app. That's what I was thinking of. But yeah, they also, this one's got some data issues in the back end. We're talking to Kenny. Kenny, if you're seeing this, I'm so sorry, man, for outing you on this one. This one's got some data issues. They're going to get it cleared up. The best way, if you're a store, is to go in and claim your store and make sure that it looks good in the same way that you would. Look at like Earth 519 here, who has done the good work of making sure that their listing looks good.
The Managed Comics option, so that you can actually grab your store and say that you use Managed Comics.
Oh,
Nice.
look at that.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
You
And the
fancy.
other one is done by Dave. I'm going to pull up his, let's see. David, he did send it to me in an email. Whitting, Comic Shop Map. That's what it's called. It is comicshopmap.com.
That one's actually easy to remember.
Yeah, Comic
Nice.
Shop Map. Yeah, and this one has I think the data is much cleaner. I think the UX is not as pretty as the one that the Sweet folks put together. But unfortunately he used some AI art there, which is a little telling. But the problem is there's no good answer for this. You really have to do the work of going through and identifying each store and making sure that they work. Comic Shop Locator is still available, but how accurate is it? And that's really about the stores participating as well.
I was just going to say, like, that's the problem with that, is that you have to participate to be part of it. And there's a lot of stores that just don't participate. Like, there's a ton of Canadian stores who haven't had Diamond accounts for a couple of years now because they've been using Universal exclusively. So,
the answer is it's a difficult question to answer, and it's really labor intensive to answer it. So there is no really good source, except to say, if you are in any city in America and you need to find a comic book shop, you just go to Google Maps and type in comic shops. The question comes down to how many stores are there? And that's where you have to get into that work. I will tell you, because we do this work, I don't share my data. I don't share what the work we've done is, because honestly, I don't want anybody relying on it that's not us. So I can tell you that there are about, I think the last number I heard was 2139 in the domestic stores. And I want to say that there's another 50% or better worldwide. The biggest number we ever came to was 4,500 worldwide. I'm still no longer confident of that, but I will say that they don't really shift from year to year. The thing about comic shops is that they are incredibly stable. They're this weird little stable thing inside of brick and mortar because they have weekly audience coming in, because they're all so quirky and unique. Like there's this, it's hard. They're really hard to kill. You know, it's hard to make money, but it's you know, you can keep one open for a long time. Yeah. So there's no way. Yeah, and yeah, exactly. I would say that those are the ones that are really the difficult ones to deal with, are the stores that have comics but don't carry new comics, right? They don't carry new releases or subscriptions. I will say that there's a couple people who pass themselves off as you know, experts in our field who have, you know, also do YouTube channels. When you look at their stores, they don't really do any new comics. I'm not talking about who they are specifically. I'm just saying, if you don't do new comics, I have a hard time saying that you're a comic shop personally.
But man, their channel has a massive like amount of content about new comics, which they don't carry, which
it's weird.
Kind of boggles my mind. It'd be like me talking about car engines.
Or me talking about Pokemon.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's bizarre how outsized their opinions are for how little they have to do with the industry.
I mean, it all kind of comes down to how do you actually define a comic store, and that's super hard. And then how well do they communicate whether they fit in that definition? Because you can't visit them all.
No,
I'd like to, but you can't. Yeah.
Well, and Diamond had an outside sales team that did a pretty good job of visiting most every year. Like they had 4 regional people that legitimately just lived on the road. You know, all the fondest memories and my love to his family. But Dave Hawksworth was one of the greatest comics salespeople I've ever met. And he had a huge region of shops that he just wore out his little economy car, just driving around to see them and give advice and sell them stuff. It was wonderful.
Also, in 10 years, we only saw one of those people once,
right,
at our store, right?
Well, you got to take him out to dinner.
Far north.
Yeah.
You got to take him out to dinner, and you got to treat him right. You got to do the thing, man. You got to play the game.
But I can't take him out to dinner if they don't come over.
My record in one day was in Detroit. We did 16 stores in one day.
Whoa,
man.
And that's like, when you see how close they are, it wasn't terribly hard, but it was amazing. 16 in one day.
That's
wild. I think we did 26 in 2 days.
Dang.
But there's so many stores in Detroit and like kind of that Detroit area. It's really great. And then we get stuck at a couple that were just so much fun.
I know you and I mean, the 3 of us have actually done tours together of comic shops. And, you know, I always make the joke that, you know, some of them you go in and you think, as a young man, I would have loved this place. Like I would have said, man, I'm going to stay here all day. I'm going to get dirty. I'm going to have to go through every box. And I'm going to find something I've never seen before. Yeah. And as an older man, I think, I'm going to just find something I'm going to want. I have to stay here all day and go through every box and get dirty. It sucks.
Django and I hit up, we must have hit at least 10 stores in Chicago that one day. Remember that?
Yeah.
I checked out of that one. I didn't.
Adam came for the first half of that.
Yeah. And then we ended up like, we walked from Challengers to, what was that place? The guy that owns Chicago Comics, his like magazine and zine store.
Oh, you mean Quimby's?
Quimby's, which sold, right?
He sold it, yeah.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. I think he's heading towards being his end of his career, which is cool.
That makes sense. Yeah,
he's done his work in the mines.
Yeah. So we walked from Challengers to there because it didn't look that far on the map, but it turned out to be very far. And then we rented scooters to go back, and it was just getting like progressively hotter and more will breaking as the day went on.
I disagree with this number. This is not a good number. I disagree with I will say that the difference between where we are today and 2022 is actually, I will say it's like less than 5%.
Oh,
it's nowhere close to this number.
And I would say that the closings that have happened have been like, there's been just as many openings, and a lot of them 100%. Are like somebody closes and somebody has bought them when they close, or a chain has moved in.
Or
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
people
look at
like our friend Corey here, who has, been in business and that then decided to sell new comics, right? I think that makes all the difference in the world, and that's hard to quantify if you're not on the distribution side, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to know who these people absolutely are, and it's hard for the distributors to know too. Like I talk to the distributors, and none of them are going to be able to say one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be able to. They'll say, "Well, I have this many accounts." But we don't go through and say, "Are you a brick and mortar store?"
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Corey said, I can't imagine somebody going back to just collectibles after they've started doing other stuff. Like, I think it's super important to have diversification in your product lines. And
well,
you
and
know.
beyond that, it's that weekly habit that comic shops garner, right? Where you see, tell me a brick and mortar anywhere, even the place that cuts your hair only sees you one. They don't see any of us very often, but they only see you maybe once every couple weeks. The idea of a brick and mortar place that you go to once a week,
Yeah.
what is that? Your bar, maybe? Your karate studio, maybe
your
dry
grocery
cleaners,
store.
maybe
Yeah.
grocery store, definitely. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. So the idea of something like this that is not a staple of life, like that's there's a reason these businesses stay around.
Yeah, for sure. Tommy says, I've been talking to some friends who own game stores about carrying comics. They already use Alliance. Seems like easy math. And I think we know that's exactly what Angelo is betting on with Alliance. Like the reason he wanted Alliance is to use it as a Trojan horse to get comics into game stores. So yeah, and it's not just going to be comics. He's also going to get sports cards into game stores. Like he's interested in getting that whole kind of ecosystem all feeding off of each other. And that totally makes sense. I think
it'll be really interesting to see how that goes, right? Because I think games and comics seem similar, but they're very different markets and they're very different ways of buying and managing your inventory. Like comics present all these puzzles that you just don't really have with games. And, games are super confusing to order in a different way than comics are super confusing to order. And so if somebody's a big game store and they try to switch over to comics, like nobody's asking my opinion, but I would say get somebody who knows a lot about comics to do that for you.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Holding both of those rule sets in your brain is going to be hard.
You could definitely add on graphic novels as a fairly easy, kind of addition to your game store without going full on into comics.
Yeah.
But yeah, and at the very least, like get the I never remember the names, compact comics.
Mm-hmm.
Start carrying those in your game store, and you will sell those things hand over fist.
That DC compact line is just such a wonderful transition for almost anywhere, man.
New Frontier just came out this week, and I think I bought like a dozen copies of it. And yeah, if that thing doesn't fly off the shelves, I don't know what will.
I brought the hardcover on my vacation, and it's a good comic. I even read every page of the back matter. It's like 150 pages of back matter, and I just poured over it like panel by panel. It's so good.
I was always so worried about those things because the format's so small and like the type looks small, but I think it's because of the matte paper. It reproduces really, really well, and it's really easy on the eyes, which was surprising to me. Like, especially
it's
that book, I was scared of.
It's really just like watching Mission Impossible at your home instead of in a movie theater. You just have to sit really close and turn up the volume.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And have somebody throw popcorn at you every now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Feed the kids
I know
a bunch of
exactly
sugar.
this. I know the store that Christine is talking about. They did things wrong.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's easy.
Yeah, it's true.
It's so easy to do comics in a way that doesn't make you money and can cost you a lot.
Well, I think the point is to friend Universal here. I don't know. It's a very strange, interesting group of comments. The point is to diversify, right? If you're trying to sell on a week to week basis, you kind of have to. And one of my favorite examples of somebody who is a comic shop, but a pure comic shop, is Bat City in Florida. When you talk to them about the fact they only sell comics, they say, yeah, but we sell comics. We sell slabbed comics. We slab them. We press them. We also sell graphic novels. We also do back issues. Somebody in the comments was asking about, moving into back issues. The idea there is you get to control your markup. You get to buy at low and sell very high. Yeah. So
I think the danger with back issues is you've got to have a way to get rid of the like overflow, the stuff that you're just going to be stuck with.
You just put it in the basement, Brian. It's fine.
Someday it'll flood.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. It'll flood, and it's valued at cost or value. The lower cost or value, it's going to be worth dollars when it floods.
That's true. That City is also a 501c.
For sure.
100%. Which means that they don't have to make a profit. They can pay themselves, and they can take donations, and they can apply for grants, and those things. So.
I was talking to a couple other retailers at San Diego, and I've been really happy with our shop's numbers lately. And we're primarily comics with games and some Magic. And these other stores were telling me what their numbers are, and they were huge. And then we started drilling down into it, and we kick ass on the comic side, and they are kicking ass on the Magic side. So they have weekly numbers that are 5 times ours, but our comic numbers are better than theirs. It's just whatever you are able to diversify and leverage in your store for your community is the thing that's gonna kind of keep you going. And you can use the comics or the games or whatever you're not as big in to pay the other bills.
Right. And that's just exactly it. You need to have even in my own company, we work with lots of different clients because when one goes away, there's 2 more to take its place. Yep. You always have to have that if you're just focusing on one thing, if you're all your eggs are in one basket, man, you better be watching that basket like a hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you guys have said, you've got to diversify your revenue stream so that you're not just beholden to the percentage that you can make on new comics or the percentage you're going to make on whatever Magic is going to take out of your pocket this week.
Awesome. I can't believe we've almost filled the hour. But just one more call out for the chat. If you have any other questions, Universal, you've done a great job of asking us the kind of basics. I think that you kind of kept us going there for a little bit. It's easy to say just add GNs to a game store, but if you have seen do it with the DC Compact, treat them like most stores do local comics. They get put in a corner out of the way. 100%.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
If you're not integrating it into your business, why are you doing it at all? Right?
Ray, I'm coming to visit you next week, and that's a threat.
Uh-oh.
No, that's not a threat. Sorry.
Oh,
I said that the wrong way. Yeah, Ray has Crossover Comics in Montreal, and that's one of the shops I'm going to go visit. I don't know I'll do 16 next week, but I am going to hit a lot.
You need to go say hi.
Yeah, say hi.
We're very big in Canada. Yeah.
We just started carrying something interesting. It's called Wiglets. It's like little 3D printed monsters and fish and little animals. And just from a fun perspective, they are probably the most fun people have in our store is digging through this bucket of 900 little animals. And the profit margin is solid. They market them in a way that you can either buy them one at a time for $3 or $4, or you can fill a little bag full of them for $25. And they are weird, that's not the different Wiglets.
That's what happens when you type in Wiglets.
ITZ, buddy.
Oh, okay.
So close.
I would say any shop that isn't just comics could do pretty well with these things.
Those guys
They're
are cute.
super cute. They have dozens and dozens of little designs. They're all like articulated, and yeah, just one of my favorite things that we found on the toy convention we went to.
Where'd you get these? Did you like
We got them
Alibaba
from
or what?
Toyology is where we got them, and it's I think the official Wiglets. There's a few places you can get them. You can get knockoffs, but I'm pleased enough with them that like I don't need to save an extra 8 cents each or whatever to get the knockoffs.
Right.
The turnaround's a little slow, so order them in advance. But like we never do what the toy business calls like laddering your orders, where you order some now and some for 3 months from now and some for 3 months from then.
Yeah.
But we definitely did that with these so that we would make sure not to run out by Christmas time.
That's amazing. How much of your business, I don't think I've ever asked you this, how much of your business is informed by your previous retail experience of running with what was it, like novelties and stuff, right?
Yeah, I had Merchbot, which was novelties. It was like, whoopee cushions and t-shirts, basically.
Yeah.
A gag novelty store. I mean, it depends on what level you're talking about. I would say 100% of the business we run now is informed by my bankruptcy and that one. Changed a lot of things after that.
Turns out.
Yeah, you learn a lot. Like how to go out of business selling $3 items, because that's crazy. But the product lines, it's not a lot of dollars, but I think it's a lot of the mood in the store. Like people come in and they have fun. I want somebody to kind of laugh every 10 feet in the store, or find, some sort of illusion or museum exhibit sort of thing that they can look at whenever we have a spot to put it in the store. So
that was always our feeling for Brave New World. Was it should be a comic it's always a comic shop, and rather than make it a comic shop and a gaming store, or a comic shop and whatever, like we made it a comic shop and a boutique, right? So that if your mom comes in, she has plenty to look at while you're looking at comics, right? And there should be something every few feet that goes, oh hey, I remember
come look at this.
You remember those monkeys that you could like that had the elastic arms,
swinging monkeys?
Scream as you go. Oh man, there was an entire summer we did that. Let's get back to
the same time as Merchbot.
I was about
I like
to
this question
because
we have some ideas on this one, don't we, Django? Do we have a feel for how many people are left to convert over from Comic Suite? So we
got two different answers.
Yeah, the reports I have are between 350 and like 1,000. So it's somewhere in between there.
Yeah. Let me ask you, how many people do you think still are left to move from Moby, which is a dead system?
I could probably name 5 or 6, but I'll bet that there's 20 or 30 out there that are still using Moby, and maybe it doesn't impact them that it doesn't work like it used to. But yeah, there's not a ton, but there's still some people holding tight.
How many Comtracks are there?
There's some more than 0, and you know some of them.
Yeah, we can tell you off air like 2 of them that we know of.
Really? Oh, awesome. Hey, Cicada Sonic, we do this every week, buddy. 2:00 every Tuesday, 2:00 EST. We're here, and sometimes we even prepare. So
usually slides and everything. No Django. It's awesome.
That's right. Some people are still using Comtrack. You know what I like to say, but Jeremy, I feel like there's very little you do wrong. So you I'm sure you do it. You do an amazing job. Actually, we're down to the last minute, so I want to go ahead. Megan actually does remind me that we need to do this. Let's just go around and I'll start. I have a company called pranadm.com. We do a lot of consulting work. We work with a lot of different publishers. We are always trying to build stuff behind the scenes that works for the comic book industry. We have this show every Tuesday, which we do with Brian and occasionally Django and occasionally some other people who are better prepared than we are. We have let me see if I can get this right. We just set up the schedule. Mondays, we have something coming really cool that involves information I'm getting from both these gentlemen. Tuesdays, we do this show. Wednesdays is, why can I remember? Oh yeah, Wednesdays we put up the audio version of this show into our podcast network so that you can catch up with our ramblings, and Django can listen to us while he's onboarding people. Thursday, we're dropping the podcast that I do long form interviews with people behind the scenes of the comic book industry and learn what it is that they have, what they know that can affect your business or career in comics. And Friday, if you go to piranhadm.com and sign up for our newsletter, we send out a quick look at everything that we think that you should take a look at. And I usually write a little missive that pisses some people off occasionally. So... Django, you want to go next?
Yeah, I own Comics Place with my business partner Jeff Figley in Bellingham, Washington. You can find that online at shop.thecomicsplace.com. Jeff and I do Comic Shop Assistant, which is a web-based point of sale system for comic stores and game stores and hybrid stores. Our comic store, you can find that at comicshopassistant.com. Our comic store does a weekly podcast that we put on YouTube at the Comics Place. I don't know when we do it. We just kind of pick a time over the weekend, and then we record that and we release it. You can find that.
And your next episode is
Comics
the
Place
400th
Presents.
episode.
400 episodes next week.
Wow. Yeah.
And then Brian and I and Jeff, who's not here, do the Data Bros on time, every time, but we make the schedule.
We've never missed an
episode. We don't announce it. We've never missed an episode. We've never been late.
Nope. It's on time every time.
That's
every
right.
Time.
It's a tight 30 every time.
Comics Place.
Tight 30. This is a tight hour and 2 right now. Who are you, Brian?
I'm Brian. I run Managed Comics. If you're one of the 350 to 1,000 comic stores that use Comic Suite, check out managedcomics.com and get on our wait list. We've built a Comic Suite replacement, which we're just onboarding people onto starting this week. So we're expecting to bring on
88
people in the next 2 weeks. 88. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I don't know. It's fine.
All right, let's answer one last question. Yes.
Yeah, many of your questions got answered. Just rewind, go back.
Thank you, boys. So nice to meet you as always.
Thanks for having me.
We'll talk to y'all soon. Namaste, y'all.
Producer Kyle, are you doing the honors here?
Producer Kyle, hit the button.
Sorry, you said namaste, y'all, and then Brian immediately asked you